Howdy, I'm Clay Kalmbach from Bear Builds, and today I'm going to show you how I built this tile and plywood key holder. This is the first piece of my new random materials series, which I will have more information down in the description. I'm also open to suggestions and ideas that y'all can leave down in the comments on what different materials and colors y'all would like to see me build some of my future projects out of. But without further ado, let's get started. I started this build by scavenging through my scrap wood pile. I'm using this piece of plywood as the backing where I'll attach the tile, and this long skinny piece of maple plywood will be the frame around it. This backer piece is 8 1/8 inch by 14 3/4 inches. The sizing might seem a little random, but I played with a few patterns with the tile off camera, and these dimensions were perfect for what I wanted to do. Honestly, drawing this line wasn't necessary since I was able to use the fence to guide the cut, but it was nice to visualize what the width of the board would be. I cut out the back piece first and then took multiple passes through the wood to prevent excessive tear out. And next I set my blade to 45 degrees so I can make some mitered corners for the framing. I got my 8-inch terracotta diamond tiles from Clay Imports, which is a tile company based in Austin. I laid the tiles out in a pattern that fit the backer board and marked them out so I would be able to move them around while I applied adhesive. Speaking of application, I used a Loctite construction adhesive to guarantee that the tiles would stick to the plywood. I used a scrap piece of plywood and a toolbox as an improvised clamp and let the construction adhesive dry for 3 hours. Meanwhile, I was able to get the border started. I got my pieces of maple plywood sanded and I started taping the parts that didn't need paint. These parts will be glued together, and a wood to glue to wood bond is best. You might notice that once again I'm using Bear's Ocean Abyss that will match my bed that you can check out how I made by clicking the link I have in the description. And once the construction adhesive was dry, I got ready to trim the tile. I was able to do this with my angle grinder and a masonry cutting disc. I took multiple passes since I didn't want to be too aggressive with the tile. Next, I moved on to marking out where the hooks would go. I couldn't decide whether I wanted 2 or 3 hooks, so I decided that 4 would be a pretty safe number. Since the tiles were made of clay, I was able to drill through them pretty easily. I used some Loctite glue to make sure that the screw hooks would have little to no chance of falling out over time. I used wood glue to adhere and tape to apply pressure to the frame while it dried. To guarantee that the key holder would be sturdy and all of the wood made contact with each other, I also threw on some clamps. I used 2 keyhole hangers on the back so I could hang it up on a wall, and the reason I used 2 instead of 1 is because this whole project ended up being close to 20 pounds. The last step was putting my brand on the back, and then it was done. And that wraps up this build. As always, I have my other forms of social media where you can find me linked down below. Please be sure to subscribe, that way you know whenever the next random materials series build comes out. And thanks for watching.